You probably saw the headlines. They were absolutely electrifying. India making this giant leap to the very frontier of technology. The term 2 nanometer was everywhere, flashing across screens, promising a complete revolution. It really felt like a tectonic shift, like a nation planting its flag at the absolute peak of the digital age. But with a story this massive, the real question is always, what's actually going on behind those headlines?
And this is where it all kicked off, this powerful statement from Union Minister Ashwini Vaishnav. A brand new office for ARM, a true giant in the chip world, was going to be designing the most advanced chips on the entire planet, and it was happening right here in India. Now, this wasn't just another press release. This was a declaration of intent. It set the stage for a story of incredible ambition. And that declaration, well, it immediately brings up this huge question. The race for these cutting-edge chips, it's a contest of titans. It's a game played by just a handful of countries with, frankly, colossal resources. So is India really about to step into that ring and compete at the highest possible level? The answer, well, it's a lot more complex and honestly way more interesting than a simple yes or no. To really get our heads around what's happening, we first have to understand the tech itself. What is this 2 nanometer dream that has everybody so excited? Let's break it down. Okay, first things first, let's get a key detail straight. That term, 2 nanometer, it's not actually a literal physical measurement anymore. It's kind of become more of a brand name, a generational label. Think of it like going from the iPhone 14 to the iPhone 15. The name itself just tells you, hey, this is the next big leap forward in power and efficiency. And believe me, the leap is massive. These new 2 nanometer chips can deliver up to 45% better performance compared to many of the high-end chips that are in our devices right now. That's not a small bump. That is a staggering jump in raw power.
Are you preparing for competitive exams? Here's your chance to test your knowledge. Take part in our quiz on this topic and see where you stand. It's a great way to revise, practice, and boost your confidence. The quiz link is available in the comment section as well as in the description below. Don't miss it. Give it a try now.
But this next number, this might be even more important. It's the efficiency. They can deliver all that extra performance while using up to 75% less power. More power, way less energy. That's basically the holy grail for, well, all of modern computing. So why does all this matter to you and me? Well, this is the technology that's going to power the future. We're talking about sophisticated AI, those massive cloud data centers that run our digital lives, and yeah, even things like smartphones that are way more powerful but have batteries that could last for days. The bottom line is, whoever masters 2 nanometer tech holds a key to the next decade of innovation. All right, so we get it. The stakes are high. The 2 nanometer dream is real, and it is world-changing. But now we get to the first major plot twist in this whole story. To understand India's role, you have to grasp this one fundamental distinction that, honestly, changes everything. Here is the absolute best way to think about it. Designing a chip is like being the brilliant architect who creates the complex, genius blueprint for a brand new skyscraper. It's a test of pure intellect, creativity, and talent. Now, manufacturing that chip, that's like actually building the skyscraper. It's a completely different game, a test of immense capital, industrial power, and logistics. 2 totally different worlds. And that brings us to the big reveal, the groundbreaking news from India. It's all about mastering the architect's blueprint. The new ARM facility is a world-class design office. It's about creating the intellectual property, the brains of the operation. It is not a factory that will physically churn out silicon wafers. And understanding this distinction is the absolute key to unlocking India's entire strategy. And just to give you a taste of the kind of genius that's required in this design phase, moving to 2 nanometer involves completely reinventing the transistor itself. For years, we've used something called FinFET, where the gate that controls the electricity touches it from 3 sides. At 2 nanometer, the designers had to invent a whole new architecture called gate-all-around, where the gate literally wraps around the transistor on all sides for perfect control. It's a monumental feat of engineering, and it all happens on the drawing board. Meanwhile, that manufacturing side, the skyscraper construction, is an unbelievably exclusive club. Building a 2 nanometer factory or a fab costs tens of billions of dollars and requires these hyper-expensive, mind-bogglingly complex machines. There are only a handful of players on the entire planet even trying it. We're talking giants like TSMC, Samsung, Intel, and IBM. The barriers to entry aren't just high, they're practically vertical. So now that we understand that crucial difference, you can see how this move with ARM isn't just some random event. No, it's a very calculated, very clever piece of a much, much larger national plan. And that vision is backed by some serious capital. The Indian government has approved projects under its India Semiconductor mission that total over 1.6 lakh crore rupees. That is a massive commitment, which of course begs the question, if it's not all going into building a 2-nanometer factory today, where is all this money headed?
The answer starts right here. India is playing to its greatest strength. An estimated 20%, 1/5, of the entire world's semiconductor design engineers are in India. Just let that sink in. That is a staggering statistic. The country is an absolute powerhouse of the intellectual talent needed to create those architectural blueprints. So the strategy is to double down on this huge world-class advantage that already exists. So, the grand plan isn't some risky, all-or-nothing moonshot to build the world's most advanced factory overnight. It's actually a far more pragmatic, phased approach. The goal is to build the entire ecosystem from the ground up, starting with a really solid foundation. And this slide right here shows that strategy in action. Just look at the project type column. You see a real mix. Yeah, there are fabs, but a lot of them are for what we call mature node chips, not the bleeding edge. And notice all those ATMP facilities? That stands for assembly, testing, marking, and packaging. It's the crucial final steps of the process. By investing here, India is building those foundational layers of the pyramid first, creating jobs, supply chains, and expertise along the way. And what's really telling is how global leaders are seeing this strategy. The CEO of ARM, Rene Haas, said this himself. This is not the old model of some multinational company just using India as a low-cost back office. This signals a fundamental shift. It's about co-creating technology with India as a strategic partner, developing products for its own massive, growing market. India is really moving from being a service provider to a genuine hub for innovation. But, this is a story of ambition, and ambition always comes with challenges. While the design victory is clear and the strategic plan is clever, the path to becoming a full-stack manufacturing power is, without a doubt, a mountain to climb. Let's start with the money. India's semiconductor mission, at around $9 billion is a lot of money, but it's competing in an absolutely fierce global subsidy race. The US has put $52 billion on the table with its CHIPS Act. The EU is right there with about $46 billion. It is a very high-stakes game to attract investment, and the financial firepower of the established players is just immense. Next, we come to a really fascinating and critical challenge, something we can call the talent paradox. We've already seen India's incredible strength in one area of talent, but what about the other? And here's that paradox, laid out plain and simple. On the one hand, India is a fabless powerhouse, a global leader with an army of design engineers. But on the other hand, there is a major shortage of the specialized talent you need to physically run a multi-billion-dollar fabrication plant. You have the architects, but the master builders, those operational experts with decades of factory floor experience, they're in short supply. And you just can't build the skyscraper without them. And finally, there's what I call the infrastructure gauntlet. Chip fabs are pretty much the most demanding buildings on Earth. They need absolutely perfect, 24/7, uninterrupted power. They need vast quantities of ultra-pure water, and they need a flawless supply chain for specialty materials. These aren't just nice-to-haves, they are completely non-negotiable demands, and they represent massive hurdles to overcome. So, we've got the hype and the hope. We've got the brilliant strategy and the harsh realities. Where does that leave us? What's the final verdict on India's big semiconductor dream? Well, the first part of the verdict is crystal clear. The ARM deal is an unqualified, game-changing victory for India's design ambitions. It cements the country's status not as some aspiring player, but as an existing global hub for creating the high-value intellectual property that's going to power our future. In the race to design tomorrow, India is already a top contender. So the crucial takeaway here is to see this as an evolution. In the past, India was a global back office. Today, it's a strategic co-creator. And in the future, it aspires to be a full-stack power. This isn't a sprint to a single finish line. It's a multi-decade marathon with different milestones. The ARM deal marks the triumphant completion of a really critical leg of that long race. And that brings us to our final lingering question. The story so far is one of incredible intellectual achievement. The architects are ready, and their blueprints are for the most advanced structures humanity has ever conceived. India has proven absolutely decisively that it can design the future, but the ultimate ambition is greater, and so we're left to wonder, in a world of fierce global competition, staggering costs, and immense physical challenges, can it also build it?